I think it's time that we have an honest conversation. Yes, that conversation is starting to feel like Circa Survive isn't just on some hiatus. Honestly, starting to feel like they're never going to come back. And as a big fan of the band, and it breaks my heart to say that. At first, a lot of people are like, all right, cool. What even is a hiatus? And a hiatus is a gap or pause in the process or sequence. Basically, what that means is this operation has been abandoned once again. Hiatus, Latin for the word gaping, which means there's a space, a void, which is exactly what this band is leaving in our hearts right now with no new music. But honestly, they gave us enough with the music they already gave us.
That saved our lives. We are eternally grateful.
A lot of bands say they go on hiatus either because they want to soften the blow for their fan, if they have a rabid fan base, or the labels want to soften the blow and it's not an outright, bad business or, something where it has to be smashed immediately. Usually a breakup happens when it's just like irreconcilable differences that'll never be settled. Maybe there's a sliver of hope here in the situation. That's the difference for me between a hiatus and a breakup. A hiatus often means that there's at least one final tour or one situation that's going to happen in the future. A breakup is pretty permanent and shuts the door on anything in the future. Obviously, except for a reunion. A lot of time has passed. The last Circa Survive album, I think, was Two Dreams in 2022. And it's going on 4 years now. So I think it's pretty safe to say that the guys are, living their own lives and doing their own things. And sometimes you get the answer with no answer. Because a hiatus is supposed to feel temporary. But with Circa, it's felt quite differently, just to be honest. Alright, while I do feel a little dramatic making this video, I think that it's warranted because it's a conversation that really nobody ever has, that really needs to be had. And the signs are there. You just can't ignore the signs. First of all, if you're not paying close attention to the situation, which I don't blame you, everybody has their own life, they're just like becoming friendly again, So it's like, I don't know if it's just happening or whatever, but I mean, they're getting to the point where being friends is the goal, and I feel that. I feel like the friendship is more important than anything. I watch a lot of anime, so I believe in the power of friendship. Don't underestimate that thing. It might even bring the band back, but most importantly, it's just about the friendship. And so I can understand if the band puts too much pressure on the friendship, then they've already done so much. They're already such legends that it's not worth the actual relationships that made the band special in the first place. So it wouldn't be the same if they were just doing it to do it, So everybody's fully grinding anyways. Everybody's got their little projects that they're working on. Anthony Green is touring all over the place in a million different bands. It doesn't feel like they're craving anything or that they need to fill their time up. They look like they're fully engaged in life. And I follow Colin on Threads and Instagram and stuff. He seems to be doing well. So I think that everybody's grinding. I'm sure if just the way that I hear it being talked about in past tense by them anytime they mention it, especially Anthony Green, in a lot of the interviews I see of him recently, he talks very past tensey, and I get it. It's for us, it's like something that we want right now, something that we wish we could relive or live for the first time if you haven't seen them live, like myself. And for them, it's probably a lot of rough feelings around the band. So I guess all I'm saying is we should be grateful for what we got. And really the most telling reason and the reason that I was prompted to make this video in the first place was Anthony Green spelled it out, clear language, on the Hard Lore podcast.
Yes. Would you call it a hiatus? No.
Feel free to
I'd
answer
call
or
it a
not answer.
breakup.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Hiatus was like thrusted upon us.
Even with all the doom and gloom, we're still holding out for hope. And that's just how it is with this band, because let's just be real, for a lot of people, Circa Survive is not just a band, it's not just music, it's a time period of your life. So it's people's growth, pain, healing, certain moments that you were just connect with the song and just takes you back right to that same moment, and letting go kind of feels like losing a part of those moments or even a part of yourself. For some people, to me, it's a very important band, and I don't fault people for feeling that way, especially when a band means so much to you. Accepting the end feels like something personal's happening to you. I mean, because it kind of is. As much of, as much as something personal is happening for them. So it's like you got to respect that. And of course, we all do. Hopefully, we all do, because, I mean, that's what you do when you're real diehard or something. You got to respect the people involved and understand, even if this was the end, the fact that we're mourning it or being so, that we care so much means that this was super lit at the very least. And make no mistake, a lot of the things that make Circa Survive so damn good is that that time period just can't be replicated. And they never overstayed their welcome. They didn't water it down and try to force it to stay relevant or make hits just because they were doing well financially or, doing well album sales wise. The discography has always felt like they meant to do it, that they weren't just doing money grabs, that they were really making music from the soul. However you feel about whatever albums, they always felt intentional, and they were clean, and they felt complete. So I feel like we're used to a certain quality from Circa, and if their hearts are not in it all together, or if there's some reason why there's friction and they can't, really jam and meld like they used to meld, then really what's the point, So they're, in a way, it's, you could see it as they're protecting the, treasure chest they built for us called Circa Survive, by not screwing around and, releasing crazy albums just for, the fact that they know that we would buy the hell out of it, So I got a lot of respect for the band. And the music that they made, I still be listening to it every day. Like I listen to Juturna like it came out yesterday.
To this day!
If they never make a record for me again, they didn't fail me for sure. You know what I'm saying? They definitely didn't fail me, because, I mean, the music they have stands the test of time right now, in my personal opinion. I show people Circa that are kind of into that type of shit, and when they hear it, they're just blown away if they've never heard of it before. They're like, damn. And dude, this music was made so long ago, and that's a staying power like that is very rare, and it means something. So that's why I'll be okay if this is the end of Circa, but let's hope it's not. Let's hope they can, give us one more, but really mean it. I was thinking when I was making this video about what made Circa Survive different than any other band really going on hiatus. And for me, it kind of boils down to there's really not a lot of bands on the Circa Survive tree that really kind of champion their sound in a way that kind of feels like, oh, this person can slot into that spot in my heart. While with other bands, I won't name them here, but other bands, I found replacements in my heart. You know what I mean? I don't think I can do that here with Circa, just because their style is so different, and I mean, who could replicate it, Also, I think the time that we're in is more lended to trends, and Circa Survive is from a time where I think the algorithm and the labels and stuff kind of let indie experimental bands in that space, kind of be who they were without all the TikTok trend chasing and, trying to make a 7-second reel that gets all this engagement and stuff. I think the game has become a lot more about numbers than about music. And we benefited from an era where Circa happened to be placed in the right time when it was about emotional honesty instead of trend chasing. And I think that really holds true, and that's why I feel like, even though I'm sure there'll be something that comes along similar, that Circa Survive is an extremely tough act to follow. I mean, and right now we're looking around for someone that sounds like Circa. I mean, I assume that's what people are doing, at least. And maybe the reason that they can't find one is that maybe there isn't one. Now, don't get me wrong. I hope to God that I'm wrong and they come out with an album and go on tour next year. I'd be in heaven. But I gotta say, if this really is the end, then like I've said many times over this video, I am grateful for what we got. It's amazing. So, at the end of the day, I'm going to end this thing on a lighter note. What song, album, or what era of Circa Survive meant the most to you and got you into this band? Let's talk about it. Till next time, later.